Hi, and welcome to JD's Longbox. I'm your host, JD. For this episode, we're taking a look at the animated film Ghost in the Shell, released in 1995 by Production I.G, with Bandi Visual and Manga Entertainment. The anime, based on the Ghost in the Shell manga created by Masamune Shirow, was directed by Mamoru Oshii. My first introduction to the world of Ghost in the Shell came in the form of the preview Ashcan comic that came with the Wizard Guide to Comics in March 1995, and a short write-up about the manga in Wizard number 44. Shortly after that, while I was in college, I came across a newspaper ad for a screening of the animated film with a quote from one of my favorite filmmakers. I knew I had to see this movie, and when I did, what I witnessed was one of the greatest films I've ever seen. It tapped into my interest of cyborgs and transhumanism, layered with deep philosophical concepts, all wrapped up in animation that was mesmerizingly beautiful and graphically violent. The story follows Major Matako Kusanagi of the Public Security Section 9. Being the most elite of the Special Police, her and her team deploy advanced weapons and are given certain leeways that appear to let them work outside of the law, and all but one team member have cutting-edge cybernetic implants, Major Kusanagi being the most advanced, with a complete body prosthesis. While we are treated with brutal action scenes that get to show off the Major as a one-woman fighting machine, much more of the story is dedicated to political intrigue and philosophy. Throughout the film, we learn that artificial memories can be implanted into people's computer-enhanced brains, and Kusanagi begins to question if any part of her is real, if she can trust her own memories or even her feelings, or if they're all just an artificial program that's been stuffed into her cybernetic body. I can't believe how tight this script is. It incorporates many scenes lifted from the manga, but while those scenes may have different context or may not have contributed to the overarching story, scriptwriter Kazunori Ito was able to tie each of these scenes into the greater story. A story where a sentient AI, both created by and hunted by government agencies, seeks asylum with Section 9. This puppet master AI manipulates the various agencies that are hunting it to bring it into contact with Major Kusanagi in order to fulfill the requirements to classify as a life form, those being to reproduce and to die. Kusanagi is also shown that she contemplates her own death and desires to become something more. The concept of over-specializing versus diversification is played out throughout the story, and the puppet master points out that for a species to evolve, it requires the sacrifice of its progenitors. Though not nearly as bad as the original manga, I did find the politics and technical exposition to really drag down the pace of the story. But once you get past that, Ghost in the Shell is a thought-provoking, action-packed masterpiece of animation and storytelling. Well, in the decades that followed, anime has become mainstream. Back when this movie was released, American audiences were just starting to discover Japanese animation. This movie earns a hard R rating for its language, violence, and graphic visuals, all things not associated with animation in the West. But those were also a big part of anime's appeal. There's a pensive stillness to the animation that lets you sink into the characters' minds, and then the world explodes with action. Not the world of a shiny, bright, high-tech future, but a grimy, lived-in world of rust and litter and faded signs. Every time I watch this movie, I find something new I hadn't noticed before, and it speaks to me in a new way. That's a testament to how thoughtful Mamoru Oshii and Kazunori Ito's work was when adapting Masamune Shirow's manga. And that's why Ghost in the Shell is one of my all-time favorite movies. If you enjoyed this review and want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe, and then check out some of my other videos. If you want to learn more about the original manga, then check out my review of the Ghost in the Shell manga. And if you're curious about my thoughts on the live-action adaptation starring Scarlett Johansson, then check out my review of Ghost in the Shell live action. Until next time, I'm JD, and this box is closed.